Welcome back to the channel, everyone, for this beautiful kitchen makeover. Stunning transformation with an expensive look on a budget. DIY tips, thrift finds, and tricks and hints throughout the entire video. Let's get started. I am so thrilled to dive into this kitchen makeover and to show you how a few key updates can transform a space. This kitchen starts with such a great features. It's spacious, it's an open floor plan, and plenty of cabinetry to keep everything organized. To set the tone, I'll refresh the walls with a warm new paint color, bringing a fresh new look to the entire space. I also have a few DIYs in mind, and also to make this open floor plan feel inviting and functional as well. And with the delivery of the new stove and refrigerator, there's already fresh energy in the space. It's exciting to see how these simple updates are starting to bring everything, all of my vision to life. Let's get started. A few months ago, I thrifted some pieces with the hope of creating a custom kitchen island. Recently, while out thrifting again, I stumbled upon the perfect table. It was the ideal height and length to fill the vast space in the kitchen, and the price, as you know, because I love a good pre-loved piece, it was only $7.99. Now, the original price on this piece when I first saw it initially was $24.99. And what happened was I went to the store to look at it, and I was out working, so I'm always stopping by, checking in and out of different pre-loved shops to see what they have. And when I went in, it was $24.99, and I thought I had enough time to get the piece, but I didn't before I needed to get to my next appointment. So I had to leave it because the lady said I couldn't pay for it and then come back, which was not correct. But anyway, I left the piece, went home after work and all of that, and a few days had passed, and I went back to the store again, and there it was again, and it was $7.99. Lo and behold, perfect just for me. I knew it was the key piece I needed to bring my vision together and to fill in that open space. And to give it a fresh modern look, I picked up a can of black paint, and I used my Whisper White as the base for the base portion of the actual table, which I am calling an island. With a few easy roller strokes and brush strokes, the table was transformed into a beautiful piece that I'm calling again my custom island by adding seating and anchoring the floor plan that is open. So for now, I'm holding off on adding any formal dining table, and I'll explain that in a future video. But this thrifted table is doing exactly what I needed, filling in the room with both style and function. Now let's talk about the wall color. When I first moved in, the entire house had this gray paint with a subtle lavender undertone, and it is painted throughout the entire house. It is a beautiful color. It gives off gray when you initially see it, when you first walk in, but as the light continues to hit it, you do see the undertone of lavender, which didn't quite give me the atmosphere, that I like. I am all about creating a calm, serene environment for me that fills with light, and it's open and airy. So I reach for my tried and true. Everyone raise your hand. You know what it is. It's Whisper White. Yay! I love how this color works in any space. It creates the perfect backdrop for me that's easy to build upon with different accents like golds, greens, reds, creams, natural, neutral colors, just all of the colors. It works beautifully with it, and it creates a very warm feel in the room. It doesn't feel stark. So bring in just the right touch of brightness without being, again, overwhelming, because it's not a cool color, the Whisper White. So when it came time to paint, I went with my usual approach. I started by cutting along the ceiling and the baseboards to keep those lines crisp and clean, and then I come back and fill in the walls. It's a bit of a process, but the result is definitely always worth it. And it's already making the space feel so much more inviting and fresh. And after the painting, I added some custom curtains I already made for the space, and they look like the ones that were in the previous home, which I love, but I had to leave all of those window treatments behind because the new homeowners, they wanted them all. That's okay. I have to admit it stung a little bit, but that's okay. But these new curtains are bringing that cozy, familiar feel, making this kitchen truly feel like home again. So I was talking with my brother, and he came over before I'd even started any of the updates. And when he saw the table in its original state before I had even painted it, I mentioned it would soon become the island with seating. He loved the idea, and funny enough, he mentioned bar stools as well. So did Barbara from Decorating with Barbara, who I've been bouncing some ideas around with about the space. And I had already considered seating, but with their encouragement, I started to really get into the thought. And wouldn't you know it, during one of my thrifting adventures, as always, I came across 4 lovely stools, almost as if they were there just waiting for me, as you know I like to say. And the price, simply superb. They were only $4.98 each. A deal I couldn't pass up for this pre-loved beauties. Of course, you know I couldn't leave them as they were. I did buy only 3. I didn't buy 4. I wanted them to complement the space perfectly, so I decided to reupholster them with the same fabric I used for the curtains. I added a simple trim along the sides for a very polished look, as they originally had large nail heads that felt very distracting to me, just like the headboard in the guest room that I made over in the previous house. I wanted a very smooth and seamless look, pretty flow of fabric without all the extra hardware. It did take a few days to finish the project because I had been feeling a little bit under the weather, but I got them done in between plenty of rest. And you know me, if you know me, I simply just like to stay busy. I like to keep my hands busy. I don't like being idle, but I do get my rest in, trust me. I'll talk more about why in another video I did choose only 3 bar stools instead of 4 in a future video. But for now, I'm thrilled with how they are coming together, adding definitely the style and function to the island area. And again, this is what I need for now. Who knows if it will stay like this, because you know I love the pre-loved beauties and as well as buying new. But for now, this works to get the space functioning and pretty. See me doing now, I am simply adding the trim that I made to the sides of the chairs, and I am using a glue gun to apply it to the sides of the chairs. Now I may come back and redo this in a smaller trim, but for now this works for me and my space. And then I'll go ahead, because as you can see, it is a very light color fabric. It is a cream. It's not actually white as it appears on camera. That's because of the lighting, but it is a cream color. So I'll go in with some upholstery spray to protect the finish, so that if there's any stains or spills that happen upon it, I can wipe it away. But that's the beauty of this, and me being a DIYer or do it yourselfer, I can easily remove the fabric and redo it again myself. And who knows, later on down the line, I may just want to do a pop of color. But for now, this definitely works for me. Next up, I am sharing with you the long wall in the kitchen. Honestly, as you know, the picture hardly does it justice. It's incredibly lengthy, the wall that almost seems to stretch endlessly across the space. But when you have a wall like this, it needs something equally expansive to balance the space without overwhelming it. So in reference to that, I knew I had to find something big, bold, and elegant, classic and classy to make it feel intentional and definitely Shenell style. So I headed out to one of my favorite spots, a pre-loved shop, Habitat Restore, with vision in mind and hoping to stumble upon the perfect pre-loved pieces. Sure enough, I found several frames that were exactly the size I was looking for, truly, literally the exact size, as you'll see in another video. And the price couldn't have been better. I love finding items that have been previously loved but still bring a timeless elegance to my spaces. These frames, of course, as you see, have a very modern, understated look, nothing too ornate, which was ideal for me since I wanted to keep the space feeling fresh and sophisticated without too much detail at the moment. And yes, the gold finish did add a subtle but yet lovely impression. Of course, she has to have her gold. Once I got the frames home, I set it to work and I took them apart, added a fresh new backing, giving them a fresh clean slate for what I envisioned. Another trip to Home Goods, I found some small trays that were just the right fit for inside of the frame because it had a shadow box feel. They were very, very small. They were only $6.99 for 6 of them. And they would add that layer of depth and interest to the wall, exactly what I wanted. I painted the trays in a color that would coordinate with the kitchen palette, giving the entire piece a sense of cohesion and calm, and of course a little bit of sophistication, which Shenell likes. So for the paint color, I went with Cloudy Day, one of my tried and trues. Also, this shade brings a soft, muted, very elegant touch to any room. It's perfect for keeping the mood serene and balanced, giving that French country feel, touch just a little bit of what I like, which is important to me as I like my spaces to have a very calm sense with, again, a touch of sophistication. Frames on the wall, and they instantly, literally brought the space to life. It was amazing to see how these frames with their shadow box effects painted in Cloudy Day filled the wall so effortlessly, creating a very stunning focal point that's understated, but yet, as you see here, it's very impactful. I am so thrilled with how it's coming together so far. The frames added the balance and the elegance to the long wall, and it made it feel very intentional and sophisticated without overpowering, again, the rest of the space. It's one of those details that is, I like to call quietly elevating the whole room, creating that sense of calm, and that, of course, was definitely my aim. Here is the before and after of the chairs, and this kitchen makeover has been all about balancing elegance with purpose, transforming an open, expansive space into something very warm and inviting and cozy for me. Starting with my thrifted table turned into an island, I added character and function with the black and the whisper white, which complemented both by the reupholstery of the stools in the matching fabric. Just like in the curtains, the walls were refreshed with the whisper white, bringing in a calm and again an open feel. For the long wall, again, I found the large frames at Habitat Restore, creating a very subtle shadow box effect with the trays painted in the Cloudy Day. Each choice that I have made has brought in my mind and my heart very thoughtful details, which is turning the kitchen into a serene, welcoming space filled with character and intention for not only myself, but my friends and family alike who will come to visit. And I want you all to remember also, this journey is as much for you as it is for me. I love sharing these behind the scenes glimpses, not to show off purchases, of course, because I don't spend a lot of money doing these things. But I do this to inspire you with ways to bring beauty and sophistication into your spaces, even on a budget. It might take a little bit more work and a spark of imagination, but trust me, you would be amazed at what you can create and accomplish with the hands that God has blessed you with. And remember, creativity is in all of us, whether it feels natural or not. And if this isn't quite your lane, that's perfectly okay too. Just keep watching me. Thank you all for joining me. As always, stay inspired, motivated, and keep moving. And I'll see you all for the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and definitely hit that subscribe button. Bye for now.